You don't have to applaud for me. It's for the recording. Thank you, guys. We got smaller seats this time, which I think is an upgrade. Thank you all for being here. I'm Jesse. This is After the Gig. Thanks to the Rock Boat for having this not just once, but twice. I was glad when I didn't get a text message in the morning the next day say, you know what, we're all set on the second one. Maybe we'll just move on. But thank you guys so much for being here. I know that we're competing with Matt Nathanson doing bingo downstairs. So that's happening right now. But before we get started and we bring out some guests and all that, I just wanted to thank all of you. Thanks Six Man again. If at any point you want to subscribe to the podcast, you can come up here and scan the QR code and follow along. I know there's one that came out today, so that would be in your inbox. But if you would like to follow along, if you enjoy what you've heard on the Rock Boat, it'd be awesome to have you follow along for that. So, without further ado, I would like to bring up everyone's favorite guest. He's going to help me out again here today. Everyone's favorite guest. He is Philadelphia's greatest son, the most dangerous man on the Rock Boat, the Prince of Richmond, the Freddie to my Mercury. Please make some noise for the great Jon Markel. One, two, three. Oh, five.
Thank you for that smattering of applause. Feels good. Yeah, if anybody doesn't know, I'm from Philadelphia and Eagles are my team, so that's why they played that.
Welcome, John.
Hello, good to be here.
We're really doing it.
Oh my God.
So I don't know if I wanted to tell you this story. I wanted to wait until we got here. So a couple of days ago, somebody must have used the After the Gig email to afterthegigpod.com to sign up for match.com.
Okay.
So the last 3 days, my inbox has been inundated with messages from dudes. Because whoever signed up, Amanda, if you're here, I have your match.com profile.
Amanda, raise your hand.
Amanda, you got messages from Michael, Dan, Shabs, Sorrow, that's not a real name, Chris, Vince, Carl, Velo, Jonathan, Tunlaw, Casey, Jason, Nico, Grover, Alan, and someone named Sunshine. And the message that came from Michael is not appropriate for this boat, and but you might want to cash in on that one. I was gonna say it's a pretty good one. But yeah, that's
so you've been getting Match.com.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and
I wonder what the end game for that was, because if she doesn't have the password for it or something like that, she's not going to be able to retrieve these messages. Or maybe it was just an old jilted lover or something like that.
I'm guessing it's a scam to empty a bank account. That's what I'm guessing it is. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I had that, and I don't really know what to do about it. I've just been thinking about ways I'm going to have to explain all of these messages to my wife when I get home.
This actually, now it makes sense. It sounds like an elaborate plan by you. You signed up for Match.com for dudes, and you're going to show this podcast to your wife and be like, see,
I told you it wasn't real.
But I have a date with Sunshine tonight.
Whoever you are. John, what's been your favorite part of the Rock Boat so far? We got one more day left. A lot's happened.
You're ambushing me with the question.
Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
So, because you ended up playing bass for Will Hogue.
I did.
On his pool deck set. And that was a not planned thing.
That was.
So one of these things that's interesting that you see from all the artists on the boat is that sometimes they have what you call hired guns with them. And there's somebody that they don't normally play with on a regular basis. They have to learn a bunch of tunes, and they come on the boat, or they go to a tour and they perform it. And then after that, they get their money and smell you later. So you kind of got you got to do that, which is amazing.
Yeah, so I've been recording on Scott Terry's album, his solo album that he's recording. So I was doing some of that, and Will's producing it. So Will was like, "Hey, do you want to play, a handful of songs on my set?" So I had like 36 hours to learn like 6 Will tunes, and I was very excited because I like to do stuff that's difficult, and I like to do new things.
Hold on, I have to interrupt you. Carter's here, and he has a cooler filled with beers, and he is ready to go. I think we have a Carter beer count, and we're at number 1.
We're gonna have to carry him out of here.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you, this is this one time we used to play this place in Blacksburg at this place called Bottom of the Stairs at Virginia Tech. Was it Top of the Stairs? Yes.
You'll get your chance.
Privett has corrected me. It's Top of the Stairs. And there was a drink called the Rail, and it was like this fruity drink, but it was just all alcohol. I mean, there's like 6 shots, right? So we used to do this thing where Carter would take a guitar solo, be like, and you'd be playing this acoustic guitar solo, and Barry would hold a rail up to him, and Carter, while taking a solo, would drink the whole drink. And he couldn't stop soloing until it was gone, and it wasn't a long solo, if you know what I'm saying. That boy could get after it. So one year we were doing it, and Carter had his couple of beers before. He had one of it rail on his own, and then during the solo drank the rail real quick, and then Barry was like to the crowd, and there's all college kids, was like, "Another one," and everyone's like, "Yeah, another one." Does another rail, and then Barry goes, "Number 3," and even the college kids were like, "No, no, don't do it."
No one survived this,
and Carter did it, and so that's a bunch. And then we're packing up. It obviously is like, we're playing the show, so I didn't realize the extent of it, but. We're packing up, this was the van days, we're packing up the van, and a cop comes up to me and goes, "Is that guy with you?" And he points up to this hill, and I was like, "No." And he goes, "He said he's with you, and if he's not with you, he's going to jail." And I look up, and Carter's lying on the top of the hill like this, and he would go,
a lot like he looks right now.
He would roll over and go, and then roll over one more to get away from the puke, and then lie there for a little bit, and then go.
Carter, you have something to say? There it is, number 2.
And then the next day we had we do Carbon Leaf does like family. We all have families and stuff. We do like a family barbecues and family get-togethers. We had a family get-together the next day, and his wife was like, "We're not coming," and we were like, "Come on, you gotta come. It's family time," and so they showed up, and Winley was not terribly happy with all of us. Because Carter was in rough shape.
I love that. So the beer count. What's up, sir?
I did not have the first one on my own. They were all in a row on stage, not my initiative.
Okay.
Fact checking.
All right, that's what you can tell yourself. That's fine. Yeah, so we've had some interesting times here on this boat. You got to do that with Will.
Yeah. That was really, really fun, but I'm like a pretty anxious dude, and I was so nervous because I had to learn 6 tunes in 36 hours or something like that, and so every
time I would walk down to the artist lounge, Jon was the only one in there playing bass and just like learning all of these tunes. I'm like, "Hey, you're gonna get off the boat today?" He's like, "Nah, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to learn these tunes." He's really working hard at it, writing charts, doing all this stuff. And that's what it takes to be able to do a gig like that. And I saw Will I was getting off the boat in San Juan, and I see Will walking towards me to get on the boat as I'm walking off. And I go, Will, what's going on, man? You know Jon can't have any fun now, right? Because you totally screwed him.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, well, you better not fuck it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
and you did not. It was amazing.
Thanks. I did a couple whoopsies. I will tell you though, this is gross, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I'm I'm an anxious man. Like I was like, I need to do a good job or whatever. And I was backstage and I was like, I'm going to poop my pants. I'm going to have an anxiety poopy pants. So I had to go to the little kids' bathroom, and the toilets are this big,
and they're really low.
They're not rated for a man's anxious poop.
Great. And with that, we're going to bring on our first guest. Everybody, please make a warm welcome, or give a warm welcome, to the man that wears many hats, the singer of the acclaimed band, what I think is the best band on Rock Boat.
I hear they're great.
I hear they're pretty good. I caught one of their sets. This is Barry Privett. Sir, nice to meet you. Pleasure. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming. Thanks for
being here. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Didn't occur to me how weird this would be until it just happened just now. No, it's great. Barry, I saw you at...
I guess I'm supposed to talk.
Yeah, I saw you at the Struts enjoying yourself last night in a tank top. Right up front.
The last few nights I've been trying to, I want to see acts. All the bands want to see acts, right?
Sure.
And because you gain so much. And so the last few nights after our sets and whatnot, I take the glass from the bathroom in my room and I put this much tequila in it. And then I go down to the bar and I just ask them to top it with lime juice and ice. And I just been walking around watching music with this tequila. And last night, I swear, I don't think I've ever gotten into the pit at a band show before ever. And this Struts guys, I love those guys so much, man. I'd never seen them. And you know how musicians will kind of be like, all right, I'll go check this jokester out, see what's up. And you kind of have the musician's pose, your arms crossed and legs akimbo in the back, and you're like watching them. But it took half a song the other night in Stardust. I walked into the Struts and be like, all right, I'll go see what this is all about. It took half a song, and I was like, I love you. Yeah. I'm coming back tomorrow.
Yeah. Fun fact about the Struts, not English. Lexington, Kentucky.
It's fake.
Well,
they are. We're just trying to start a rumor.
Well, they do whatever they do very well.
Yeah.
You kind of waffle between being, inspired and envious, and let's just say I'll be YouTubing his dance moves when I get off the boat. He's
got some serious moves. One of the coolest things about them is that they we were doing the Queen and Prince set. Was that last night? I'm so confused. I don't know what day it is. So last night we were doing that set, and we were walking around, and all of a sudden those guys show up, and they show up with a guitar, and we're looking at this guitar. It's like, what's so special? Everyone's looking around at it, and it was Prince's actual guitar. And I remember that guitar because one of my favorite videos of all time, you can YouTube it, is the solo that he plays during the George Harrison Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. It's incredible. It's really amazing, and it's one of it's a true treasure. So apparently it's on loan from the family to one of the guys in the Struts. I might be getting that.
And Ryan played it. Played it during their song, Sister Hazel's song.
Yeah, I crashed. I went to bed. I didn't even see it get played.
Yeah,
but I touched it.
See, you're not in the know on this one.
No.
Oh yeah,
I'm not. Did he talk about it?
A little bit. Yeah.
What did he say?
He said this is Prince's guitar.
Cool.
John Tyler Wiley got to play it as well.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Carter.
We on number 2 still?
Get Carter. Carter, play that guitar before we're done.
I know. It's on the boat. It's not like it went anywhere, right?
All right.
I touched it. I went, beep. Sweet. I did it.
Beep, boop, bop. Yeah, I mean, it was great. It was really cool to have that piece of history there. But to get to this, we'd like to get serious here. What's it like to be part artist in a band, but also part manager, band leader? Like, where do those two guys meet? Because one side of it is the creative aspect, and then the other side of it is like, okay, we gotta get on the road, make things happen. We have to make set lists. We have to do all this stuff. Like, how does that balance work for you?
Well, it doesn't. The balance is very imbalanced, and that's kind of the bummer when you're trying to manage something and you're also trying to grow as even just singing or being an artist or writing, and so you're always fighting for that time. You have to be very disciplined on both, and a lot of times it's the art side that you have to like shelve to get stuff done. That's just the way it is. So that's kind of a bummer. So balance is hard. I do better in the morning, so I get up and try to get up early and get going. And in an ideal world, I'd get up, get a little exercise, do my writing in the morning, and move on to office stuff. But it doesn't quite always work that way. And then I find myself, binge writing to prepare for a record, and I'll go away for, weeks or months at a time and just do nothing but write, which is also great. I love immersion. And, but it just doesn't seem like in any given day there's like this nice balance of everything. So yeah. I don't know.
You said about the writing, you've said a million times, on talking to people on podcasts and stuff like that, you'll get music from the band. Like you have a big library of old ideas and new ideas and stuff like that. So when you're going into writing those things, is it, when you pick one, is it just what kind of jumps out at you, or does it have something to do with whatever theme you're pulling from at the time? And how do you like match those up together, especially when something might be 15 years old or a week old?
Yeah. Well, I have a great job because the guys, they'll send me little nuggets of something, whether it's just a couple of chords or like, a full guitar track, or if Carter's layered a couple of electric guitars on something. So it's great to get a flood of different ideas from people. And every time I get them, I listen to them, I focus on them. So they're in my subconscious.
We'll get it.
Either one.
Is that right? And then so I'm kind of passively working out, what might be the next thing. But usually when it comes down to like time to get serious about writing, I'll go through the playlist. I'll go through our songs and I'll start carving out playlists. And so I have them broken down by like just genres, things they remind me of, and I'll group them so that I kind of know where they are, and then pull some out. If I get an idea, I'll keep working it. But if I'm working on a record, I'll try to find the 20 pieces of music that I think would make a good record. And then depending on what's working, on any given one, kind of they start prioritizing, you know, in my mind, and you know, ultimately half of them go away, and you focus on those. So it's just a process of just going back through to the demos. And
are some of those melodies already there, or are you coming up with different like variations when you're in that creative process?
Some of the songs on the new record that we released, I mean, the melodies changed when the words changed, and because I wrote like Catching Windmill, you know, Time is the Playground. I kept writing lyrics and then melodies, and then I ended up, when you go back to them, I ended up not liking them, and so I would scrap it and come up with a new melody or a new idea.
Yeah.
But then others, you just like, you know, you hear the melody immediately, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a challenge to
you have
just
to really go looking for it.
really find your way into the story. It's just, you know, and it takes a lot of passive listening. You know, people say, what kind of music are you into? And like, I'm usually just listening to Carbon Leaf demos, like if I'm driving and trying to, you know, just listen to it without working on it. So just kind of hum along, you know, like you would with anything, you know, like you listen to music, you're driving along, try to let go a little bit.
So since that album is so like centered around the idea of time, like was it difficult? Were you trying to get all the tunes to kind of have that same kind of theme? And did you think about other tunes when working on another one, just to try to make the cohesiveness of it, or was it all just separate?
It wasn't like I'm going to make every song about time. I just realized that when I was halfway through, they were about time, and you know, we announced that project as the pandemic was kind of starting to blossom. We didn't know any better, and everybody went away and quarantined. And I spent, you know, a year kind of going around to different places, like just snowed in, you know, Lake House in Wisconsin. I stayed in a 175-year-old schoolhouse in Maine that got converted to a cozy little cottage, and you know, and was up there in the winter, and I stayed in that barn loft that we shot, and some time in a Blue Ridge, and some time in a camper, and just like you know, I had a lot of time to myself. Sting said something that sticks with me. He's like, you know, he says, writing's a lonely profession, you know, and it is. I mean, you know, to get, at least it seems to me, you have to just spend a lot of time listening and thinking and trying things and then throwing it away. And so, you know, with all of that, I just started, you know, thinking about time and this little moment, you know, along this kind of linear path that we're on, even though we live our lives in these cycles and seasons, and we have our rituals, you know, that kind of go in a circle, right? But we're all kind of heading towards the same, you know,
death
event horizon.
Oh,
I love that movie.
But yeah, so it just became the theme, and I had the title long before that. I had written down on a Post-it note, "Time is the Playground," and I took a picture of the Post-it note and put it in my file. And when I was working on the record, I just was like, "That's I got to work on that. That's going to be the title. That's the song." That this became the song, and then became the theme. So I don't know.
There is this theme. Knowing you as well as I do, there is a theme that I notice with you. Do you remember the when Starbucks made quotes, had printed quotes from famous people on their cups, and you got one? Do you remember what your quote was?
Just got thirsty all of a sudden.
Do you remember what it was?
I remember I don't remember how the words were put together, but it was basically like, childhood is when we're happy and pure, and we grow up and spend the rest of our adult lives trying to get back to the place.
I can't remember what the quote was,
but it was basically like, and I noticed that theme with you because I did not like my childhood, and I was like a sad kid. And then as I got older and got, like each year is kind of better and better. Like I'm like, oh, I like being an adult. I wasn't happy when I was a kid. But I noticed with you, like there's this big theme, like in a lot of your lyrics and just like, talking to you and stuff, there is this theme of like this, the childhood was where I want to be. Is that accurate?
Well, and yeah, I mean, we lived in a, my dad was a hardware retail manager, it's like, but we grew up in, in the 70s and 80s where you could actually middle class your way up to, a really nice, thing. So in the 70s and early 80s, he was just a hardware retail guy. And but he got this great deal on this, killer house on the river. People weren't buying property on the river back then. It wasn't like really a thing. So this old man Peterson sold him this amazing 1 acre.
Hi, old man Peterson.
And it gave. My point is, it's like when we moved there when I was 4, it was just an amazing incubator. We just had all these pine trees and we had the river and there was no one across the river, so it was just a bunch of green trees and you had marsh and we had a swing over it and we had a neighborhood that was hemmed in by the river and a railroad track, so it was like kind of like off in its own world and it was just a great place to be during that young time, and it fueled my imagination a lot. I didn't have tons of neighborhood friends. We had like a little bit of a gang, but they were kind of a year or two older, and they eventually kind of went into puberty, and so I would spend a lot of time on my own, just imagining stuff. So I look back on those days fondly, even though not everything was rosy.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It wasn't just like this amazing, privileged life, but it was a good time to grow up. I'm thankful for it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we'd have X-Ray or what was the other one? Was Time as a Playground after that one?
Backmask, 1983. Yeah.
Sorry, I forget the songs sometimes.
That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. You remember that time when you wrote that song? That was awesome. Well, dude, thanks so much for opening up about that. We didn't know. We don't really. This was only the first time we've talked. I've been in the band 9 years.
I don't feel like I really sold it that well, but I'm not good at talking.
No, it's good. You did great.
Thanks.
You're
great.
You're good, buddy.
Great.
People like you, Barry Privett. I just want you to know that.
Hey, so one thing
that I remember someone showed us a video when we got announced last year for the Rock Boat, and they were listing the bands that are going to be on it for the 25th anniversary, and the woman was like, and Barry in Carbon Leaf.
Yeah, and Carbon.
People love
please.
you, dude.
Thank you. Well,
if you ever want to disappear into obscurity, stand next to Barry Privett while walking through the Rock Boat.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
I do want to make a point, though, to your question about like getting back to your childhood, and I don't think so. Anything that I write that feels like nostalgic, I try to. I don't like nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. For me, like looking back at something as a positive is just a great touchstone to remember, an essence, that we all would want to get back to at some point. It's and when I walk around the boat and I see, like I had mentioned at the show, a lot of these younger artists that have kind of their career ahead of them, and they've already figured out so much more than what we figured out. At least when I started being an artist, and I love seeing and remembering, that feeling, where you're not censoring yourself. You're not thinking about your future or your past. You're in the moment, and I get very inspired by seeing people like that, and I talk to like people like Garth who was apparently a fan of ours, and Rose Colored World came out to our show, and I met Ray and Cassidy and Hutton, and they're like, this show's awesome, man. And I'm like, and they're just dressed so it's cool, and I could never do that or be that, but it's like I can take pieces of those people with me. The Struts, it's like I can take those things and use them someday. And
I was just waiting for the next band meeting where it's like, guys, we need more leather.
Yeah, I know. I am. We are up here going like, all right, well, this is something we're gonna have to deal with here in the near future. I'm gonna have some band disagreements. It's funny, perspective. The boat is really this wild focus of it's a microcosm of perspective. It's really weird because I think musicians in particular really suffer from I want what I don't got. You know what I mean? Because
for sure.
you're this doesn't mean anything to you necessarily because you live in your body, but you're Barry Privett. You know what I mean? Like people, you walk around and people are like, oh shit, that's motherfucking Barry Privett. No, it's true. I know you don't even recognize it and you don't understand it because you live in your own body, in your own head. But it is true. You are a not to get too ass kissy, but you are like a special person. And so you walk around and people recognize that. But you go and you see the Struts and you're like, God, if I could only do. I mean, I suffer from it like crazy. Like I want to be the only bass player on the planet. You know what I mean? I want to play in every single band. Like I go see
Ian Martin Allison will have something to say about that.
I know, but that's how I feel. Like I go and I watch, I go to a Red Wanting Blue show and I'm like, God, if we could only do that,
right.
That would be amazing.
Right.
It's just how we
I made
are.
that joke on stage when we played the Annapolis show over the holidays, and Pat Murphy from Gaelic Storm was there with his wife, and I made the joke that he was sitting there the whole time like this.
Yeah.
And I said that on stage. He's like, Barry, I look like that because I want to do what you do. And we want the lights and this and that. And but yes. And when we were in line to do the Queen show last night, like I honestly felt like I was like in the doctor's office waiting for something, because Queen is I mean, there's those artists that did that. I mean, we worked hard and we do our thing, but then you get singers up there. They're just like
wailing. Yeah,
they're the guys,
Sure.
And it's I was thinking about that, and I was like, everybody kind of has their lane, and that's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay to have kind of like our lane, even though you want what these other people have.
Sure.
Again, it's inspiring, but you can't beat yourself up if you don't have a tenor voice.
Yeah. Well, moving right along here, we have to bring out who some would, I guess, the self-proclaimed King of Philadelphia.
I'll have some words about that.
Is in the building right now. This guy is an incredible singer-songwriter, and he's on his first rock boat. So be gentle. Yes, first rock boat. Be very gentle with the great Eric Hutchinson.
Oh.
All right. It's like the Tonight Show. We had it.
Hello.
Yo.
Here we are.
Doctor?
Sorry, you left me hanging. Doctor?
I didn't know this was your first rock boat.
First rock boat.
You've really taken to it. You've really spread your wings. I see you everywhere.
Well, there's nowhere to go. Where else am I going to be?
I remember my first rock boat, my first hour, I was like, this thing is enormous. I've never seen such a big place. And by like hour 3, I was like, get me off this thing. I'm trapped.
Yeah.
I'm in a box.
Boat gets real small real quick.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been very cool. Everyone's been very friendly, and I totally echo what everyone's been saying. Just to get to see all the different artists and you're in your own little bubble when you're on tour, but getting to see what other people are doing is always inspiring.
Yeah. So just to give a little backstory about how I know Eric here is when I was playing with Stephen Kellogg, we got to tour in the UK, which was really, really fun. That's how we met. And I also got the opportunity to play a short run of shows with you. And the interesting thing about those shows in particular was it was kind of like the exact same scenario that, actually not really, because I didn't have to do it on a boat in 36 hours, but the same scenario that Jon went through with playing with Will Hogue, learning a bunch of new tunes and stuff. But at the same time, it was my first time playing with in-ear monitors on stage, first time playing to a click in some cases, and first time playing on a sample pad. A lot of firsts, and I was very scared and nervous because I got into Columbus. We played at the amphitheater there, opening for Matt Nathanson and Philip Phillips, and I was just terrified. And the best, and like, I couldn't have been in that situation with a better group of people because like you were amazing and incredibly like patient, and then also Ian, who's on the boat with you, your bass player, is just probably the sweetest person on the planet. And he talked me through the whole thing, like where everything was, like how everything was going to work and stuff, and really just like made it an easy experience. So I think that should show everybody what kind of dude you are. Like,
life's too short to play with people that aren't nice.
I know. Yeah, true.
I was saying like the show, maybe if you're lucky, is 2 hours out of your day on tour, and then you got the other 22 hours where you're with these people, and if you can't hang out then, it's going to be a problem. And I think all that stuff shows up during the show. If you really like the people, you're having more fun. So we had a great time when you were out. Yeah, we did Summerfest, I think. Is that possible?
We did Summerfest. No? Yep, where Paul McCartney was the headliner.
Yeah,
which was awesome. And
did you meet him that day?
No,
me neither.
Security kicked me out. No, but so, and saying now your personality, we also got to do some studio stuff when you were producing Hayden there, an artist, a New York or California. What about that production style, like when you work with an artist like that, how does your demeanor in that situation contribute to the final product? Because it's really good, but it's different from what I've experienced in the past.
You mean like in terms of how do I produce somebody else? Or,
sure. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't ever think of myself as a producer. I was just like, well, somebody has to make the record that I'm making, so we'll figure it out. And then I had a friend, Anya Marina, who asked me to produce some songs, but I feel like being a producer is kind of mysterious out in the world. It's kind of just you're doing whatever it takes. Sometimes it's as simple as just like calling the right people to play on the song and then just keeping the atmosphere very relaxed, or finding the right space. But the main thing I take away when I produce other people's, I just finished up producing an EP for a young woman named Sydney Lee, who is just coming up right now. And my main thing I get is, oh man, the things that artists worry about, nobody cares.
Yep.
Like for myself, it's so helpful to be like, right, this thing that I'm going to go deep into a hole, I can do this if I need to, like fix this for my own sake, but like no one's going to notice. I'm not Taylor Swift. Yeah. No one's going to notice.
It's not going to affect record sales.
It's not going to affect it's not what it's about. Yeah. But Taylor Swift does have that problem. She's like, if there's one single word that could be misconstrued, I'm going to have to deal with it for a week.
It's an interesting, like, to bring up Taylor Swift, it's an interesting thing because a lot of the lyrics in her particular albums are just like, they're part of the lexicon.
Yeah.
They become bigger than just the thing, like the way she says things, what she says.
Yeah.
Like the trends that it sets. Like, I can't even imagine having to think about writing a tune or performing a tune like that. It's wild.
With great power comes great responsibility,
That's
Taylor.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for her. Poor Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Such a bummer. You've had such a cool. I find it to be a really cool career.
Thank you.
And around the time that we played together, which was I think like 2016 or something like that.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
You were like pretty vocal about the idea of taking a seriously long break from the road. And I want to say, like, was I the last straw? Were you just like, I can't do this shit
This is
anymore?
what I got to deal with. So maybe this was the end of 2015 even. I was just really burnt out and I don't know. I kept being like, I think I'm just done. And my wife kept saying, like, do not use the word retire because you can't take that one back. And when you do, everyone's mad at you.
Right.
But I think I'd been doing it for a long time. I had kind of just lost some direction, and it took a little while for me to kind of regroup. I think as soon as I actually let myself believe, like, oh, I'm not going to make music anymore, I felt a lot of love for it coming back. But it's just, I've been writing songs since I was 8 years old. Things go in different ebbs and flows, and I mean, I've changed the way that I go out and do shows and things, like I just feel like there's a lot more space talking about mental health now on the road and in general. But like when I was first starting to tour and I'd be out, 200 days a year or something, and it wasn't as fun, or I was having a harder time than I expected to, and I'd get really down on myself because I'm like, this is exactly what you wanted. Why is this not great? And now there's just so much around, like, oh yeah, it can be very difficult to like be grounded while you don't really have a home and you're just on the road all the time and all these different things. So I think I've tried to just manage it differently and try to do it and have fun when I'm doing it.
Yeah. Can I ask you, because I think about this, say Barry's like, you know what, guys, I don't want to do this anymore. It's taxing me. We're not touring anymore. I would just run off and try to find another band. You know what I mean? Like the idea of doing something else, it's not even, I'm completely unemployable in any other situation.
Can you explain this 30-year gap, sir, please?
Yeah, I mean, seriously. But what were you like? What were you gonna do with yourself? I mean, you're a talented singer-songwriter and
I don't know. I had a bunch of ideas, and it turns out I'm also kind of unemployable.
Show up at a construction site.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm here. I'm sorry, I can't carry heavy things. But.
Yeah. No, and not to say, I mean, I feel like I hope I'm not coming off ungrateful or something. It's more just, I think that's just been so much of it is like there's the idea as like a young person or any person outside of the music world of like what it'll be like inside, and then you get inside, there's problems like anything else. But I think especially after COVID, I've really just changed how I look at what I do. And I think when I was young, it was more about serving myself or being, recognized for something. But now after COVID, I really just see like, I feel very lucky that I get to be a person that brings people together. And I just see my job as to lighten the load for people. And it's like, the world is complicated. The world is heavy. I'm hoping I can have a place where people can come in and just feel good and feel light and feel positive, and hopefully maybe take a little bit of that out with them and put that into the world. So I've really just refocused, and the boat's been so great for that too. There's a lot going on the mainland, and just like there's moments where I really get to get lost in the music making and in the community here that is really positive.
Did you get a weird massage from a lady on St. Martin like I did?
No.
It was pretty weird.
What does that mean? Was it one of the people on the boat?
I can tell you about it later.
Okay. Oh, that kind of weird massage.
No, these ladies. Did anyone experience this? These ladies.
Carter did.
Carter did, big time. Carter, what beer are we on? 6. We got 5. Oh, he's on number 6. All right. Yeah, it gets hard to count after the 4th one. But no, I was on the beach, and these ladies are coming up. They're working. They're trying to make some cash. And they have aloe plants, and they're
Yes,
just like,
I saw
we
this,
will
yeah.
rub your legs for $25 a leg or foot or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they don't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
It was like, no, I'm going to do this. And they sit down. They sat down. This lady just grabbed my leg and just started wiping down my feet. I'm like, nah, this is so weird. And then 5 minutes in, I'm like, this is pretty good.
I'm good. if I was like, all right, I need to make some money. My first thing I would not do was go, I'm going to start with strangers' feet. That's not where I would start
Yeah,
my money
I
making
guess.
process. I'd do shoulders first if I was just like, all right, I'm going to rub a stranger. Feet was not what.
Well,
where
it's
I
like
would
you're,
go.
you know, these women are walking down the beach and your feet are exposed. They're like, I know he's got feet.
Right.
I'm going to
That's
start
true.
there.
Not everybody's walking around with shoulders.
Yeah.
And one of that's right.
In terms of exposed skin.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're going to tell me you don't have feet to be massaged, buddy? I'm
You're
looking
like,
right at them.
I'll never get past that T-shirt material.
I was literally like, one of their sales tactics is to walk up and just start rubbing your feet and be like, oh, these feet, they're so tight, it's terrible. You have the worst feet on the planet. And they just tell you how bad your legs and your feet are. And you're like,
Yeah.
I guess I need them rubbed. You're right. What do you have to say about
if
that?
I ever get a massage, this is coming off. We're having a really bougie time up here. We're just, but whenever I've had a massage, they always tell me I'm very tense, and they always tell me like, that's my fault.
Yeah.
You're so tense. Relax.
That's a sales tactic because they go,
That's
you're
why
so
I'm
tense.
here.
You're so tense. This is why we need to set up a plan. We're going to get you in here every month.
Right.
We're going to, we're going to upsell you on the acupuncture and all that stuff. That's how they get
It's a
you.
racket.
It's a racket. It's a racket, total racket. But the reason why I brought up you almost retiring from music,
Yeah.
just to get back to what we're talking about, is because after that time, you came out with like you didn't stop. Like you maybe you did for a short period of time, but like you came out with a bunch of new stuff, and you came out with your game Songversations, and like a few other really cool like creative ways to kind of get back out there and change things up. Can you talk a little bit about those different things and how you approach them?
I think when I was feeling like, oh, maybe I'm done with whatever I've had to do, maybe this chapter's over, I was just feeling kind of limited. I feel like I'd been sort of putting certain rules on things of how I could do stuff, and a big thing to me was just to be like, well, what if I can make any kind of music I want to make? What if I can make the song titles be very long, or really, I was just trying to relax the rules some, and that was really helpful. And I've spent really the last 10 years just making a bunch of different, I love all kinds of music, and I thought, well, what if I tried to make a record that was a 90s alternative record, that was the music I loved growing up. And I made a bunch of songs written in that style about being in high school. And then, that was like to me, the fun part is like, I wonder if I could pull that off, that's pretty much with all things that I do. So I did that. I did one that was kind of like a jazz inspired album. I did all different kinds of things. And now I've gone so far over that I'm back. Actually, my newest thing that I'm putting out, it's an album called Repeating Myself. And it's actually, I used the inspiration of myself to make an album. I was listening to my first album, Sounds Like This, and I was like, that guy's writing songs that are kind of cool. It'd be fun to make a record like that. So I just kind of sat down and started writing songs like I used to write.
Cool.
So the new thing is hopefully a little bit of like a return to the beginning.
Write a song about Emerson or
exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So, and you also have a podcast that you are releasing. You're working on right now.
Yeah, I found out I'm the last person alive that doesn't have a podcast.
I know, we all have one.
And so I was like, I better change that.
For better or for worse.
Yeah, so it's coming out soon. It's called Songversations. It's based on this game I made, and it's I just love talking to people about music and listening to music. It kind of all came out of I was just having some friends over to like actually listen to music with each other. It's a very present thing. feel like these days it's all sending a link to something or like whatever, but to actually just like sit down and play music or play a song, like listen to a song with somebody else is very exciting to me. So the new podcast is I have a guest on and I sort of interview about their lives and we listen to clips of songs, and it's a fun way to like get to know somebody, also learn about new music, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So it should be, I don't know when this is coming out, but it'll be out later in February.
Do you have an example of like...
Yeah, so like my question I love to start with is, and I'd be happy to hear everybody's answer here, is like when you were 11 years old, what song made you feel like the absolute coolest person in the world?
Okay.
When you were 11. Because, you know, it's not, hormones haven't kicked in yet, and you're
Betty
just,
Davis
okay.
Eyes. Kim Carnes, Betty Davis Eyes.
Betty Davis Eyes, okay.
Came out in 80, I think, but yeah.
And how did you discover that song?
Just, you know, driving in the Ford LTD, listening to the FM radio, you know, just be on the radio. And
did you know who Betty Davis was?
No.
Yeah. I don't think anybody does.
Mine was, I think mine was the Humpty Dance.
Ooh. Little different era, little different vibe.
Because my brother was listening to like hip hop and stuff, and he's 8 years older than me. So like, and this your dance, do the hump, and that bass line.
Yeah.
You know, I did a show. I did a show with them.
No shit.
One of my
Digital Underground.
Yes, one of my.
John has done a
my
show with
caps.
everybody.
I did a show with them. It was awesome. It was awesome. Got to hang out with all those guys. Shock G and everyone.
Wow.
Tupac was not there.
Yeah, Tupac got his start in Digital Underground.
Yeah, that's so cool, man.
Yeah, but yeah, those songs are. Did you have an answer for your?
Well, I don't know about like what made me feel cool. Like I've kind of always hated myself. You know what I mean? So nothing made me feel cool. But I remember when I was around 11 is when Bon Jovi was huge, and I wanted the album New Jersey so bad that, and I lived in Jersey at the time, I had to go to my mom and I did this whole like elevator pitch where I was like, you know, there's this band out there and it's really cool that we live in New Jersey and they named their album after New Jersey. We should go get this, Mom. And so, but I remember just being in my room, which was covered. I would get I got Circus magazine.
Oh, okay.
And my walls, you couldn't see any paint on my walls because it was all covered. I'm not kidding you, 100% with pictures of hair metal guys.
Right. Circus magazine was a music magazine. I thought you were getting a magazine about circuses.
Eric, keep up. I had pictures of
like,
elephants.
Do you know
and
these things have
giraffes
3
everywhere.
rings?
Trapeze posters everywhere.
No, I had like Blackie Lawless and like all of the guys.
Got
and
it.
Just pictures, Nikki Sixx, and I just would just sit in my room and just listen to like Bad Medicine and just be like, I've never heard anything just so beautiful.
Yeah. And that stuff's really the beginning. It's like that stuff when you're that age is like, it really is like the foundation of what everything else is built upon, you know? It's like, I love the Beatles. I was just raised on the Beatles like religion, you know, and it's just, if people don't like the Beatles, they're definitely not going to like my music. Like I can't do anything about it. I'm just I'm just built on top of that.
Well, speaking of your music here, we're up against it. So let's. You'd like to perform a song for us? Did you decide which one you wanted to perform?
I think so. I'm gonna see what happens.
All right.
I might play 2 songs at once. I don't know.
That's fine. Do you want me to sing some Chicken Parmesan for you? Or
Yeah. I've never done that, but I guess I could play a song on the guitar and then sing a different song.
Just do the thing that
Just do the one song. Okay,
Do the thing that
got
they're
it.
gonna like.
Got it. Okay. Well, yeah. I'm gonna set up here. I think you could hang there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, plug too. Yeah, we'll make it quicker.
Give it up for Matt here. Matt.
All right, here we go. And what a beautiful. If you're listening to the podcast or watching, you can't really gather how great it is up here. We got this beautiful view in the front of the boat here, and we got a kind of a, I don't know if it's a 360 view. I don't know, but it's very nice. Just picture a beautiful time while you're listening to this song. And that's where we're at. He's been waiting around for the weekend, figuring which club to sneak in. Fancy drinks and $50 cover charge. Lately it's been a big hassle, Heineken and Newcastle, to make sure he's fitting in and living large. Disregard the lies that he will tell her what he's probably like, 'cause it's not hard. His charm is gonna get him through the night. 'Cause if you wanna rock, he rocks. If you wanna roll, he rolls. He can roll with the punches as long as he feels like he's in control. And if you wanna stay, he stays. If you wanna go, he goes. He doesn't care how he gets there, long as he gets somewhere he knows. Oh no, na 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 na. Na 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 na. See her, heavy makeup and cut t-shirt. Every girl out wants to be her, but they look the same already. Why adjust? Reading the magazine secrets, forgetting the topical regrets. As if she comes home all alone, the night's a bust. It's a must. Swivel in her hips and the look she gives, it's all a trust. If only in the morning she knew where she lived. 'Cause if she wanna rock, she rocks. If she wanna roll, she rolls. She can roll with the punches as long as she feels like she's in control. And if she wanna stay, she stays. If she wanna go, she goes. She doesn't care how she gets there, long as she gets somewhere she knows. Oh no, na 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 na. Na 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 na. And in a wink, to on the brink, from drink to drink, and at the bar with cash to blow, shot to shot. It's getting hot, advance the plot, see how far it's gonna go. All depends, so ditch the friends and grab a cab. Another chance, a cheap romance doesn't count 'cause the room is spinning. Nothing to lose tonight, they both are winning. And they fall in love as they fall in bed, they sing. If they wanna rock, they rock. If they wanna roll, they roll. They can roll with the punches as long as they feel like they're in control. And if they wanna stay, they stay. If they wanna go, they go. They don't care how they get there, long as they get somewhere they know. Oh no, na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Yes.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you guys all. Thanks, Barry. Thank you, Eric. Thanks, everybody, for coming.
Thanks,
tonight.
everybody.
Thank you.
This is After the Gig. I just want to say a quick thank you to Six Man, the production team, Michael, Rand, Dublin, Will, Davis, OD, Big Country, Elijah, McGee, Chris, and the stage managers. We have Murder, Chris, Jess, Stagger, Mike, Bear, Ra, Alyssa, Jr., and Monica. Thank you all so much for being here. Huge round of applause. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
everybody. Thanks, Jesse.
Yeah, great work. That was awesome.